We're going live. Hello and welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. I want to talk about something uncomfortable. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about a subject that is taboo, but really shouldn't be taboo. Why is it taboo to talk about money in our society? Right now, many of you are reaching out to me because you're really struggling and the economy is getting scary. And then many of you also just want to grow wealth and grow your portfolio. So I hear from many of you, and excuse me while I also plug in my laptop. I just noticed it's dying a little bit, but I hear from so many of you right now, and either you're doing really well or you really want to grow your business, right? You're doing really well. You want to get multiple streams of income in, or maybe you're really struggling. So there's two different camps, and it's pretty extreme right now. The people who reach out to me, there's people who are like, I don't know how I'm going to make it another month. I don't know how I'm going to keep my doors open. And then there's other people who approach me and say, hey, Evelyn, I see what you've done. You own multiple businesses. You're not relying on one stream of income. Talk to me about this. How do I develop? And honestly, what the message I have is for both of you. Whether you're just starting out or you could be in it for 20 years and still facing bankruptcy. Or if you're in a situation where you're ready to scale and grow, the principles are not very different. There's a lot of the same things, but the biggest thing I find is it comes down to mindset. It comes down to your mindset. How is your relationship with money? Do you have a tumultuous relationship where you like it, but it doesn't seem to like you, so it seems to flee your bank account? Or do you seem to just be stuck? There's a wonderful book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. I highly recommend it. But it talks to us about how we are programmed. We have these internal thermostats. And Maxwell Maltz, he actually won the Pulitzer Prize for writing this book. And it was a huge case study that he did. And I'm not going to get too far into it. But basically, he was able to prove that we have these internal thermostats. So if your internal thermostat is set to, I make 100,000 a year, that's all you're ever going to make. If your internal thermostat is set to 50, that's all you're going to ever make. If it starts to 10 million, that's your cap. So he really talks about how do we go in and fix that? How do we change it? Otherwise, our brains are literally geared to keeping us at a certain level. Now, let's talk a little bit about just what's coming up, right, during this recession. Sometimes we can have really great thermostats, and something like the economy we're in right now becomes really scary and really hard, right? We're in a very hard economy right now, and it's only going to get worse. It will get better. It will get better with changes, but it's going to get worse. It kind of has to get worse before it gets better. So how do we, as an industry that's already facing really hard times, what do we do about that? What do we do to make sure that we're positioned well? So even if you're doing really well, how can you grow wealth? How can you make this a generational endeavor, right? And there's a few things that we can do that a lot of people don't really even understand and know. Did you know that your business can be a landlord? Your business can actually go and get real estate and start its own portfolio. Your business can go buy stock and it can have its own stock portfolio. Your business can invest in gold and silver. All the things that you can do as an individual, your childcare center can do as well. And now more than ever, it is so important for us to up our business acumen and create businesses that can last years and don't just rely on the income that we receive from tuition. Our parents at this point really can't afford, in a lot of areas, there are some areas that they can, that you can charge whatever you want, and that's okay. I live in a blue collar working class area. That's where my current childcare center is, and I'm about to open another one. And so there's a cap to what our parents in my community can afford. Just to put it in perspective for you guys, the average single income in the city I live in is $40,000 a year. The average dual household income is 80. Just think about that. The average person in the entire city I live in averages 40,000 a year. So yes, we're going to have those people in the hundreds, but imagine when you're thinking about the law of averages, how low incomes are to make the average in my hometown 40,000 a year. It's pretty hard, isn't it? So for my childcare center, I have to have multiple streams of income. I'm currently working on a whole new business structure, a whole new business plan. It's actually a totally it's this whole new thing that it's untried. So as I roll it out and as it becomes successful, because I know it will be, I will bring that to you and teach you how to do it. But it's going to be a whole new way of doing things and bringing childcare into this century and this decade. It's my solution for not being the blockbuster of the world anymore, because as it stands, childcare is the blockbuster. The way our business model works right now is not sustainable. It has to change. And that's okay. We can change. But you get to choose. You get to choose right now. Are you going to be the person who sits on the sidelines? Are you going to be that person who sits on the sidelines and watches your income go down and down and down? Some of you have had great savings and you've been able to weather the storm. In 2020, when COVID hit, I was fine because I did have good reserves. I had a lot in savings and I was able to make it through that period of time. Even before the PPP and all of that, I wasn't as scared because I had saved money. But it also depleted the money I had saved. So now I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to work hard, get all these reserves, have all this money in the bank, and then tough times hit and it's all gone, right? I don't think any of us want to live in that. And I've been there more than once, over and over and over again. And I will be completely honest and transparent with you. That was what I was starting to face again. When the economy here started getting really bad, and it was so bad, I cannot even describe to you. I will just give you guys a little glimpse of what has happened to me in 2024. I had one grant that basically ran out of money. So they cut us off when they still owed us $90,000. And they didn't tell us till the end of the grant. So I basically gave about 10 children free childcare for a year. And a little bit, I think it was like 9 children, free childcare for about a year. And we upheld our end of the bargain, but they did not. So I lost $90,000 overnight. That came out of my savings, right? That had to come from somewhere. That came out of savings. On top of that, our childcare subsidy did a very surprise change in policies. Oh, and it happened pretty much overnight. They didn't even give us 30-day notice. And I lost quite a few. Altogether, I lost about 28 children between the subsidies that I had and all the changes that were made here in Nevada. Pretty quickly, I lost 28 children. And now suddenly our subsidy program isn't really bringing anyone on. I had somebody trying to apply for my childcare center who was making $13 an hour, single parent, one household income, and they were told they make too much money. That's how scary it is. And again, remember, I live in a community that's average income is $40,000 a year. So the community I live in is pretty low income. So I just decided I'm not going through this again. My center is not going to rely on one stream of income ever again. So if that really resonates with you, you need to join me. I have a seminar coming on January 20th through the 24th. It's only 1 hour a day. You can take 1 hour a day to change your business. You can take it. The economy is not going to get better. It will eventually, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. And if you're like me and you just want to grow wealth, What about that? Like maybe you just want to grow wealth. You just want to not have to use your savings and you want to grow a legacy that's beyond you, right? That is my big goal right now is I want a legacy that is bigger than me. I want something that my grandchildren will be taking over. And I'm not going to do that with just a childcare income, right? So whether you want to pull yourself out of a hole or you are ready to really build wealth, join me for this event. If you're watching on YouTube or my personal Facebook or Instagram, I just put it in the chat where you can find the information on this event. If you're watching on my Facebook group, I will have to add it later. Facebook is a little bit iffy, but it is free, by the way, you guys. I'm doing this for free. I am so passionate about this industry. I want to save this industry. So this is a free webinar that I'm doing. It will be live on Zoom. You'll be able to pick my brain. We'll be able to work together. But this is my gift to early childhood education because it's time. It's time for us to walk into this new era. It's time for us to thrive and not just survive. It's time for us not to be scared to lose our businesses. It's okay. You can make it through any economic situation, and I'm here to help. So if you're listening to my podcast, check out the show notes. The information will be there as well. I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you. And of course, I'll be here next Monday, but I'll also be here starting on the 20th just to pour into you and help you guys make more successful companies. Bye, everybody.